Dragon Ball Legends is Bandai's latest Dragon Ball mobile game. Releasing almost a year ago, this game unfortunately arrives with flaws, and I mean plenty of flaws. After posting on the Dragon Ball Legends subreddit, I've gotten many responses on what the biggest problems the player base has and possible ways to fix them. Being Dokkan's little brother gives Legends a huge expectation to live up to, and if Bandai doesn't step up their game, this could go down as one of the worst pay-to-win experiences ever. Starting off with a strong topic, the amount of Chrono Crystals given should definitely be increased. Now, I myself am a free-to-play player, and I'm personally completely fine with the amount of CC us free-to-play players receive. I even said this on the original Reddit thread. I'm currently sitting with 9k CC, all of which are from free grind. Although a little outdated, the screenshots I have on screen are actual logs of all the possible CC you could have collected from September through December 2018. You'll see that you could have collected anywhere from 6k even up to 15k CC, all of which were available to free-to-play players. I think the main problem a lot of people had was simply the fact that the available crystals were too hard to grind. And I can completely understand. I've 100%ed normal and hard mode of just part 1 of the story mode, and yeah, that stuff is time consuming. The disgusting summon rates in Dragon Ball Legends are without a doubt one of the worst things in the game. I don't like it when people compare Dokkan to Legends simply because of the age difference, but Dokkan is much more fair when it comes to summon rates. Just on a basic banner, Dokkan has a 10% chance of pulling an SSR, 5% of which are to pull a featured unit. Keep in mind that this 5% featured unit rate is constant. Even in banners where there are only 1 or 2 featured units, you'll always have that 5% chance. Legends, on the other hand, only has a 5% sparking chance in total, and typically, since there are 3 featured units on a Legends banner, this means that you usually only have a 3% chance of pulling a new unit. And with that said, unlike Dokkan, this 3% chance is not always constant. Just look back on both the Broly and Gogeta banner, where you only had a 1% chance of pulling the new featured unit. Not even Sparking Guaranteed banners are safe. In case you haven't seen yet, the new Sparking Guaranteed UST 11 banner only has a mere 50% drop rate for what used to be the standard 60%. The fix to this is so simple and makes me wonder why Bandai is so money hungry that they refuse to change it. All this would require would be a simple increase in summon rates. Nothing too insanely high, of course, maybe a 10% for a start. And like Dokkan, keep that constant throughout all banners. What makes this all worse is when you finally pull that new unit, there's usually a better one right around the corner. Legends has this strange obsession with always wanting to release new units. Within less than a year of this game releasing, we have around 170 characters already, with even more units releasing basically every 2 weeks. Of course, there's nothing wrong with new characters, the more the merrier. In fact, we just got the announcement that Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 will be arriving soon. However, with every new unit released, old ones don't just get removed from the meta. No, they get shot in the foot, hit by a bus, and struck by lightning all at once because the power creep is absolutely terrible. Does anyone even remember when Blue Broly was once a Z tier character? Now the only place you'd ever see him is when you're fighting a level 100 bot on casual. And each new unit they release is always some type of overpowered counter just waiting to be destroyed by an even more overpowered counter. The simple solution would be to slow down on releasing banners and not giving every single new unit some type of ability to make them direct counters to old units, or just flat out stop making everyone so broken. The last thing we need is another Super Saiyan Broly situation, where a character is so broken that they stay in the meta for months and make players practically unable to compete in PvP without them. Even with the Rising Rush, we have some characters who can tank it, others who can live through it, and some who can just flat out dodge it. And then of course we have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who probably would have destroyed the meta as well, but I bet not many players even got to experience him because of ticket locking. One of the most hated features of Legends banners is the infamous step-up banner tickets. Starting with the New Year's Beer Summon, Bandai randomly got the idea to add guaranteed sparking tickets to step-up banners. Now on paper, this may seem like a smart idea. Not only would you have the chance of getting the new character in the banner, but then you also get a free ticket for another chance of getting the featured unit. However, this is not what Bandai did at all. Instead, the featured unit is not on the main banner whatsoever. You then have to work your way through the step-up banner before you can even gain the ticket. And then your only shot of getting the character is through the ticket itself. Remember that every single sparking in the game is on the ticket summon, which only gives you a 20% chance of even getting the unit, even after you've obtained the ticket. My solution would really just be to add the featured unit to the main banner as well. I really have no problem with the added benefit of tickets because that just gives the player another free chance to summon the featured unit. My real only problem is giving players no chance at all to even attempt to get the character without the ticket. This especially sucks when the insane unit like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is locked behind a ticket, because owning him is like having a free Rising Rush. I see a lot of back and forth with the Rising Rush, and rightfully so. The Rising Rush is kind of in a weird state right now because it's easily, without a doubt, the most overpowered attack in the entire game. Haven't you ever just had a situation where you have the game in the bag, just about to clutch the win, but the opponent is randomly able to pull the Rising Rush and immediately wins, or somehow pulls off the Rising Rush twice before you even blink? In these cases, yeah, the Rising Rush seems way too OP and probably should just be removed. But then, what if you think of it from the other side? What if you only have one character left on low health, and the opponent has a max health Broly, but you're able to bait them into the Rising Rush and clutch the victory? Or if you're doing battle missions, and the Rising Rush helps you confirm the victory before you get brutally destroyed. In these cases, it seems much more helpful to the player, and is fine where it is. I have two possible solutions to nerf the Rising Rush. In the first one, I'd say let the Rising Rush go free in PvE, especially since there are missions that require you to do like 3 million damage with it. However, in PvP, it should most likely be capped around 500,000. Now, hear me out. Most sparkings in the game have anywhere from around 600,000 to 800,000 HP, with Broly of course having the most health in the game with 1 million HP in his Super Saiyan form. This would mean that no matter who you're fighting, the Rising Rush would practically be impossible to one-shot any character, while at the same time still doing at least half of a health bar. The second possible solution would be to limit both players to using the Rising Rush once per match. This would stop people from being able to use the Rising Rush multiple times in one game, and force players to play more strategically, such as using their one Rising Rush at the perfect time, or when to use a unit's main ability, like Demon King Piccolo. And while we're still on the topic of PvP, honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this one. PvP as a whole just needs a massive rework. First of all, the matchmaking is absolute garbage. Sometimes you can sit there for quite a bit of time before even getting into the match, just for it to be a bot 9 times out of 10. Then, when you finally enter the match, you just get absolutely bombed with lag upon lag upon lag. Even with the lag, you'll still run into plenty of DCers who will just farm easy wins by cheating their way up to rank 50. The only way I can possibly think of them being able to fix this is by getting dedicated servers for Legends. This way, they would have direct reports for any possible cheaters and decrease tons of lag. Currently, Bandai is still using peer-to-peer connection, which means if your opponent has garbage internet, then the whole match will have garbage connection, and there's nothing you can do about it. The funniest part is Bandai is actually attempting to stop cheaters with their latest cheating system, but it isn't exactly working. In case you haven't heard yet, Bandai recently added a new anti-cheat system to PvP. This may seem like a step in the right direction, but it's really 3 steps back. Another YouTuber by the name of Nazdarachi made a great detailed video explaining the whole situation. I'll leave a link to the video for you guys to watch it, but in the meantime, I'll attempt to explain it myself. Cheaters are no secret in Legends, and unfortunately there's a good bit of them out there. With the anti-cheat system, the server not only tags the disconnector, but you as well. Why it does this? Well, without any dedicated servers, the game is unable to determine who is the disconnector and who is the normal player. However, with these modded APK versions of Legends, the DCer is easily able to bypass the anti-cheat system and does not get tagged for DCing. This, of course, still means that the average player will be getting these DC tags, despite the fact that they did nothing wrong. Eventually, these tags will add up and result in bans. What starts with a 5-hour ban can turn into a complete ban for one PvP season and a complete reset of your rank, all for something you were wrongfully tagged for. This brings me back to my last point. Simply adding dedicated servers to Legends would make banning cheaters so much easier rather than having a faulty ban system that wrongfully bans Legends' valuable players. Finally, everything else Legends should work on are simple quality of life updates. Some of the things they should focus on at first are definitely equipment slots and the stamina system. With equipment slots, I have zero clue what they were thinking. As of now, equipment is maxed out at 250, and it can get annoying having to go through and clear them after it fills, otherwise you can't even start a mission. Bandai did in fact add equipment slot expansions into the exchange shop, however, it costs 3,000 medals just to buy one. That's right, 3,000 medals just to get 250 and 1 slot. Just terrible. Having them in the exchange shop is fine, in my opinion, but they either need to massively reduce the price or massively increase the number of slot expansions you get for 3,000 medals. Another thing they should fix is the stamina system. It's no secret that PvP is the main focus of Dragon Ball Legends, but PvE is still for sure a massive portion of the playing experience. Some missions require up to 5 energy just to play, and since stamina maxes out at 10 energy, you really don't have many other options other than to wait or manually refill your stamina. I think a good way for Bandai to add them should work with your Z level. For example, every 10 levels, I think it would be good to add an extra 5 stamina onto your already existing stamina, in a similar fashion to Dokkan. With all of that said and done, that's going to bring us to the end of the video. Of course, everything that I said in here was things that I heard personally from the Dragon Ball Legends subreddit and my personal ways that Bandai could potentially fix the game. If you agreed or disagreed with anything that I said in the video, don't be afraid to let me know in the comments below, because all suggestions would be welcome to help fix Dragon Ball Legends. And with that, I just have one more announcement. In case you guys haven't seen yet, I've actually just opened a Dragon Ball Legends Discord server. So if you guys want to join, go right ahead. In there we can talk about Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle. We can even talk about Heroes, that I just picked that up and I've been having a ton of fun with that game. Or maybe you just want to join just to talk to me. Anything is cool. So the Discord server is going to be the pinned comment. Don't be afraid to join that. And with all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and remember to stay in school.